Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Eric.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies, breaking them all the way down, all the way down. We're back.
Yes. Hey, Eric. I'm so glad to be back to talk more about Universal Soldier, man.
Indeed.
This movie's so
indeed.
rad, dude.
Oh my God. We're having a good time so far. I hope everybody else is too.
Eric's got a fresh glass of wine.
I mean, one per episode. It'll get me there when I need it to.
So were you more of a Dolph Lundgren guy or a Van Damme guy?
I was more of a Van Damme guy. There's no question about it.
Same,
Yeah.
same.
Mhm.
I don't feel like either one is like necessarily like quite on the Mount Rushmore, but I feel like also though it was uncommon to get two
Yeah.
action heroes of this magnitude together in one movie.
Yeah.
Like when they're both in their prime still.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Like,
dig that.
the Expendables don't count.
No,
in my
when they're past their
opinion.
prime, it's like a money grab
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
But when both can carry a movie on their own,
Right.
and they link up like this, I love that, man.
Well, this is I'm jealous of you because this episode, Dolph is finally going to be unleashed.
yes.
And there's a lot of fun shit that
Take the
happens.
shackles off.
Yeah, the shackles have been taken off.
I like about this movie, each one of the guys got to play a role that was perfect for what they do the best.
I agree.
You know, like Van Damme got to be the quiet, brooding, like good-looking guy, like in The Hero, and Lundgren got to play the bad guy, which I feel like he's just born to be a villain.
Oh, yeah. And he nails it in this movie too.
Oh yeah, dude. I also feel like each one of the guys made the other guy's performance like even better.
Well, they
complemented each other.
I
well,
agree. They
right?
had like a weird, even though they're not really in the movie that much, just their personas complemented each other, and they almost had this like long distance chemistry, right?
Yeah.
Like his Van Damme's character was a perfect counterpoint to Dolph's character in terms of exactly what you're saying, like their temperament, their attitudes.
It was like he made Dolph seem like a more menacing bad guy than he would have otherwise, and I feel like Dolph's made Van Damme seem like a more heroic character because of such a bad guy that he like a villainous villain that he was playing. Honestly, I think this is probably like it could be a career best performance for both the guys, but especially for Dolph.
Oh, Dolph just nailed it. I mean, like I've got notes all over
this.
this.
Is like I've been like, wow, Dolph's got so much more charisma than I would have given him credit for in other movies.
Agreed.
But yeah, definitely, I was more of a Van Damme guy though, because I love the karate flicks, man.
Oh yeah, same.
I love the training montages. I mean, who's not like a sucker for like some karate?
Everybody
shit?
loves a good training montage. Yeah.
But do you want to try to catch up the plot?
Yeah, we'll see. So two soldiers in Vietnam in 1969 kill each other. One because Jean-Claude Van Damme's sergeant has gone crazy, and as he tries to say, "Look, my tour's duty is I just want to go home," Dolph is like, "Oh no, everybody, there's traitors around me." They kill each other. Military spooks come up, put them on ice. 25 years later, they walk out of a sci-fi semi-truck, souped up in all this high-tech gear. They are now part of the Universal Soldier Project. To demonstrate the effectiveness of this, they stop a terrorist assault on the Hoover Dam. But in the process of doing that, JCVD has a flashback of Vietnam. Cut to later on, they're back on ice, and they're like, no, we should put him on the rocks for a while. I was like, no, he'll be fine. 5 minutes later, the journalist, Veronica, who's been covering the beat on this, who has been fired at the end of her first reporting.
That's true. She's an unemployed reporter.
Unemployed reporter who has decided that she is going to break this beat.
I'm just going to continue to report.
Right, exactly. She and her cameraman, who is clearly in love with her hopelessly, show up at this public airfield that apparently has been turned into a secret military air base. She sneaks onto the base, sees one of the Universal soldiers who was shot to death during the encounter. He wakes up, sits up, she screams. They see that she's there. Alarms go everywhere. She tries to run. All of the Universal soldiers are deployed on these two civilians. The cameraman crashes his car immediately in an obstacle that was directly in front of him. The soldiers pull him out of the car, shoots the cameraman in the head, which then triggers the final flashback, which breaks both JCVD and Dolph out of their hypnotic state. JCVD grabs the journalist. They flee off when this starts a long chase sequence where JCVD and Veronica get to a gas station. They stay at a hotel room, and the bad guys, Universal soldiers, show up 6 miles away in the town, and they walk on foot to the gas station. There's a big shootout at the motel. JCVD and Veronica escape in a bitchin' ass old car. And then, that's about where we're at.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Van Damme and Veronica, they're speeding through the desert in this like 57 Buick. It's more like amazing scenery.
Oh yeah.
This movie was like, awesome on the the locations and everything like that.
Yeah.
But so she's asking, are you sure we're not being followed? And he says, no. And she's like, oh, you're such a comfort. It was very like a Terminator-ish vibe, the conversation.
I mean, same almost shots as the Terminator 2 with like John Connor and the T2 or T-800 sitting in the car having that conversation.
So Van Damme's like, you should buckle up or whatever, which sets up a little rule of three on like the buckling up.
Yeah.
So she can't believe that he seems so calm about everything that's happening. Now she lights up a cigarette, demanding some answers, how you're able to do the shit that you can do. I feel like this was like the audition scene because Allie Walker's really cooking.
Yeah.
In this scene, it was a nice monologue.
Yeah.
She wants to know, who are you? Where are you from? Then she's like, I figure you got to be French or something because of your accent. And he's like, what accent?
Which I thought was a great line.
Which is great.
Great line.
Yeah. So she's like, she has a bunch more questions for him. It's like, I don't know, are you avoiding my questions? Do you genuinely not know the answers? She's asking all the right questions. I feel like she's a reporter after all, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Van Damme stops the car and gets out. Veronica gets out too, looking concerned. And then she's like, what the hell did they do to you? And he's like, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. So he's looking off in the distance, like way on the horizon. He can see the sci-fi truck coming after them. I like that. That it's a, it keeps the sense of urgency or whatever.
Yeah.
So they pull into this other little dusty service station. There's this old timer running the place, tells Veronica not to smoke around the old pumps. That's Chekhov's gas pump.
Yeah, Chekhov's gas pump. Yeah.
So Van Damme humorously tells the guy, park our car. Then he drags Veronica into the station and strips just completely naked again.
Because why do it halfway?
It's like, I know I haven't said it in like the last hour or two, but I'm obsessed with Van Damme's physique.
Oh, absolute Adonis.
Because I feel like if I was picking one of the action guys' physiques to have for myself, like the guys who are just too bulked or too shredded are like weird to me, but Van Damme like looks somewhat natural. He's just like, I'm just obsessed with the man's physique. But anyway, that's another podcast. so he tells Veronica, there's got to be a tracking device implanted on me somewhere. So he instructs her to feel all over my body, look for something hard. It's a fucking amazing movie moment. The old guy is like eavesdropping outside the door and he's scandalized by all this shit. Now Veronica seems to get a fair amount of pleasure from groping Van Damme. He looks down at his dick, I guess, and is like, is that supposed to be there?
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, it is. It's very normal.
I mean, I feel like that there was an opportunity for a joke here. Either it's too big or it's too small.
No, that's in a normal action movie, you're going to like imply that he's got like a monster cock.
A hog. Yeah, exactly. And instead it's just normal. And I'm like, no, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, I guess.
So he tells her to keep checking. And this shit like makes me so confused though about what exactly Van Damme is supposed to be. Like, is he this automaton in a human shell, or is he like an amnesiac?
Right.
He seems to not know like what his own body even is.
So I feel like I thought about this a little bit, and like I think that he's got like trauma-induced amnesia, not only from the Vietnam War, but also all the shit that they've done to him. And the longer he doesn't have this serum injected in him, I think that the serum was partially a memory repressor.
Okay.
Right?
So he's coming out of
this, right?
Okay.
And so like they left the parts of his brain intact so he could take orders and he could do the fighting and he could do all of that stuff, but then shut everything down. But now that he's not had this serum for a while,
Yeah.
like it's all starting to loosen up and he's starting to like come back to consciousness, right?
Okay.
That's the way I thought about it.
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
So we see, meanwhile, that the big rig is once again closing in on their location. Garth, the scientist, is saying, they've stopped up ahead at this building. Meanwhile, Veronica seems to have found a lump in the back of one of Van Damme's thighs. He humorously bends over and like puts his head down like between his legs to talk to her.
My balance isn't that good.
No, dude. I mean, like the dude's like whole like taint, like grundle, and all that shit would have
Just
been
out
right
of
in her
frame.
face.
Oh my God.
Crazy shit. So he holds out a knife, tells her, you got to cut this tracker out of me. She refuses, so he stabs himself in the leg, which freaks her out.
Again, super Terminator vibes here.
Yeah, but I feel like the practical effects on this one could have looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, he tells her, take this device out of my leg. She reluctantly reaches in with her bare fucking fingers.
Oh my God.
And removes this foreign object, which was like kind of comically massive. Like it was on a wire.
It was like
wired.
One of those like cameras, those snake cameras that you see in spy movies all the time. Yeah.
But she's like, are you okay? And he says he's fine, which I guess they also like, they don't feel pain.
Yeah, I guess it's suppresses it or I don't know.
It's like blocked.
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever sort of mind control they do.
Yeah, I guess so.
But now then, just as the big rig is arriving at the service station, the truck is like, expands again.
I love the accordion. Every time it parks, the
accordion's time consuming.
Yeah.
So all the scientists, they run to their workstations. They've got like crazy technology. Like it's telling what kind of gun is inside the building and how many bullets are in the gun. But they quickly locate the car, the Buick, in the parking lot. So they're like, oh, that's their car. Deploy. So they're all the Universal soldiers come out and they're about to get the command to pounce. And Lundgren notices like all this loose ice is spilled all around the freezer. So he's clearly operating like on a higher level than the others, and definitely on a higher level than Van Damme, which is another interesting thing that we'll have to talk about at some point.
We
probably.
will have to,
So though a couple of the Universal soldiers, they kick in the door of the service station. They start shooting just indiscriminately. They're shooting at this like metal cutout of a man.
Yeah.
It was in there, and the guys in the truck recognize, oh shit, it's a trap. They're telling the guys to stop shooting, but it's too late. They shoot this kerosene lantern that has been hanging from the metal man. The lantern falls. It like bursts into flames. It lights this trail of gasoline on the ground that leads to the pumps. The entire station goes up in a huge ball of flames.
It was a great explosion.
I feel like you probably came in your pants.
I love that explosion. It was so, and it just kept getting bigger too the whole time.
That was one of the biggest explosions we've ever seen on the podcast. Yeah, it's awesome.
I love big practical explosions.
I felt like, well, there goes that old fucker's livelihood.
Oh my God, it's ruined.
But several of the Universal soldiers are like left engulfed in flames, like walking around aimlessly, which was also a great moment.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh my God, they're on fire.
Yeah. And you can hear them screaming and stuff. Yeah.
We know that these things can't overheat. Right. So
right.
Woodward calls for everyone on the truck to grab the portable coolant units. Right. And now as the military guys are scrambling to try to salvage the Universal soldiers, JCVD and Veronica, they pop out of the trunks of the cars where they were like laying and covered in ice or whatever, which was a cool moment because it'd be too fucking hot in the trunk, but also like it foiled their infrared, like their heat sensing equipment or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that they also kept the old guy safe.
Yeah.
They had him also tucked in a trunk or whatever. I do hope the man's insurance was paid up though. But now we see Van Damme is changed over into regular human clothes, but also like still entirely a beige getup or whatever. So they run into the big rig and start gathering up whatever sort of intel is just lying around in there. This is the part where we hear Colonel Perry screaming that the Universal soldiers cost $250 million a piece.
I love the idea that, it's only, like, that's considered a big number, right? $250 million. That feels like nothing. Like, in today's currency, it would be $250 billion each. Yeah.
So we hear someone telling Perry, 2 of the Universal Soldiers are destroyed. That's why I don't think there's a scenario in which Perry would be like keeping these things out here in action when they're malfunctioning.
Right.
Like, because you can't be losing this amount of money.
No.
In this situation. I do say shout out to Ralph Muller, who they let him light him on fire.
Yeah.
Like he was walking around and he was in flames with his face fully visible or whatever. That was cool.
That's really cool.
But so in all the commotion, no one sees that Van Damme and Veronica are running out of the truck with these like armfuls of binders and files and shit. And I do like to imagine a world in which they have all this insane technology.
Yeah.
But they're all still just keeping like hard copies and binders, as well.
Right. I did love that at this point they cut to the gas station salesman who's still in the trunk, and he looks around and he goes, "Oh, here they go again. I'm out of here." And he just closes the trunk lid.
So now they pile back into the Buick. They speed off. Van Damme tells Veronica to buckle up. That's number 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Lundgren, though, pops up from the back seat and is like strangling Van Damme with a garrote. I do think this is the first ever like garrote sighting in the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Like a little strangling wire or whatever.
Damn.
But so Van Damme loses control of the car. They run off the road. They crash into a big ass rock. Lundgren, who was not buckled up, goes flying through the windshield.
And an obvious dummy. It was so...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, back in 92 when everything was like super fuzzy and low resolution, but going back and remastering this movie, it's so clearly a dummy.
That was an early payoff to the seatbelt theme.
Yes.
But so Van Damme gets the car back on the road and they drive away. That fucking car was a tank, man.
Yeah, man.
It was like crash into a rock and just keep on going, dude.
They knew how to make him back in the 50s, I guess.
So Lundgren, he looks kind of pissed off again as they drive off. It's kind of funny at this point. Like, this is the 3rd time in the past 10 minutes that this same exact story beat has played out. But so Colonel Perry reads this printout and is like, "Oh, the powers that be, whoever they are, the federal people have pulled the plug on this operation. We're all supposed to go back to base."
How do they know what's going on? I don't understand.
That's true.
But I mean, whatever.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah.
This fiasco. Like, I feel like the ship has already hit the iceberg at this point.
Right.
But so Woodward again is seems somehow amazed that Van Damme has figured out how to cool himself with the ice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there was some sort of subplot that got cut out. It was just weird to me that he was so fascinated by this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible. It could also be an attempt to sort of quickly establish the resilience of Van Damme and his ability to recover from the brainwashing.
I mean, I'm sure they weren't supposed to be able to do this sort of problem solving type stuff, whatever. But Perry yells at Lundgren to get back in the truck. But Lundgren seems to be sort of mourning the loss of the fallen Universal Soldiers, which was an interesting moment. Though I feel like, if we're being honest, these are probably guys that he killed back in Nam, right?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, these are all the same.
Do you think they're all the same platoon or whatever?
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
So Perry repeats the operation is over, calls him GR-13, his Universal Soldier name, and as he stands up and says, "My name is Sergeant Andrew Scott." And then Perry goes for his sidearm, but Lundgren is too fast and shoots Perry right in his fucking eyeball.
I mean, it's a headshot, technically.
Brutal kill.
It was a brutal kill. The blood splashes against his glasses frames. Yeah.
I don't even know what shooting Lundgren would accomplish, though, because gunshots don't stop these things.
No, exactly.
So I don't even know. But anyway, Lundgren gets back on the truck where there's a badly burned Ralph Muller. There's the badly wounded Tom Tiny Lister and a handful of scientists and this one anonymous army officer.
I wonder how long he's going to survive.
Yeah. Who I'm 99% sure we have never seen before.
Nope, not been in the movie.
He's just a dead man walking.
Yeah.
Woodward is calling for Colonel Perry, but Lundgren is he can't hear you, and plops down a pair of freshly severed ears. Ear jokes are back, baby.
Oh, they're back, baby.
Lundgren is I've relieved Colonel Perry of his command. And the anonymous officer says, the mission's canceled. He orders Lundgren into the cooling chamber. And Lundgren's I give the orders from now on. We have a mission to complete. And this is the moment where they just decided we're gonna let Dolph cook, baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He cranked it up, man. He's let his hair down. He's chewing the scenery. He's fucking gnawing on every bit.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah.
So this one scientist is like in a hazmat suit, gets sneaky and is like trying, I guess, to reach for a pistol. But Lundgren pulls out his Desert Eagle, shoots that anonymous soldier in the face.
Headshot.
Punches through the scientist guy's mask and snaps his neck or whatever.
That was hilarious.
And at this moment, I guess Woodward and Garth have like little choice but to just go along with it.
It's either like death or this. I mean, there's no question.
This was the thing where it's like, holy shit, like Lundgren's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah, he does,
He's doing awesome with this shit. This is not an easy thing to do.
I completely agree.
Yeah. For my money, this is like his best performance of his career that I've seen, at least, except maybe Creed 2. He was really good in that as well.
I've not seen Creed 2, so I can't wait.
He was channeling some deep pathos.
No, I mean, he plays unhinged really well.
Yeah.
He commits to it. It doesn't seem artificial. Like, it suits him well as an actor.
I feel like that's half the battle, is like just turning it all the way up.
Yeah, exactly.
And like letting yourself, maybe you're acting a little foolish, but just trusting that it's going to work.
Yeah.
But so elsewhere, Van Damme and Veronica, they've decided it's a good time for us to stop off at a diner.
When you're hungry, man.
Sometimes when an elite group of super soldiers is after you, you got to stop off for that little blue plate special, man.
I mean, look, you can't function properly if you're not working on a full stomach.
So Van Damme seems unsure of whether he wants food or not.
Right.
Which is fucking weird. There was also this fun moment where he read the waitress's like name tag and it's like called her Brenda. And she's like, nice to meet you too, Joe. Like reading the little name on his shirt or whatever. Yeah. I don't know why the sleeves were cut off that work shirt that he was wearing. I feel like he did that.
Van Damme
free up
cannot have his guns covered
up. The pythons.
Man. Yeah.
But it does raise a good question because, like, do these things eat and drink? Obviously not, I would think.
I suspected they get fed intravenously.
Right. I feel like putting food or drink into the system is going to fuck him up.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so all nourishment has to be handled through some sort of tubes involved.
Whatever it is, yeah. Right. But so, back on the rig, Woodward and Garth are continuing to work on Debo, Tom Tiny Lister. Garth is like, we're never going to be able to save him. And Woodward is like saying, well, we better keep looking like we're trying, or Lundgren's probably going to try to kill us. That was a nasty bit because they had his whole like intestines out.
Like, had his intestines in their hands. Yeah.
So Garth notices that Lundgren is injecting himself with this like comically large syringe.
It looks like one of those
turkey
like turkey baster.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Why is it so big? I just like because it's to register on camera. Yeah. It's just got to be big. It can't be a small little syringe. But Woodward says, he's overdosing on muscle enhancers to make himself stronger.
But overdosing would be a bad thing, right?
I guess so. I don't know. But he's gone full Ivan Drago mode.
Yeah, it's straight
up.
He's
roiding up. So back at the diner, Veronica's smoking. She's leafing through the binder. She can't make sense of it. She says, all I can tell is that whatever they've done to you guys was done on a genetic level.
Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't really make sense. It also is like, I don't know that there's a way to make the shit make sense. So it doesn't really matter. You just have to, sometimes you just got to accept the premise.
Yeah, that's right.
And just like move on with your life.
Lean back and take it in.
Yes. Especially when the premise is this juicy. It's like Face Off.
Right.
Like, I mean, no, they could never actually do this, but the premise is so good.
Yeah.
We're just going to accept it, right? But so Van Damme, he's reading on her cigarette pack that smoking is deadly. And he takes her cigarettes away and destroys them. And she's briefly pissed off.
She says, that was my last pack. So she has just had packs and packs and packs of cigarettes. Hidden on her person this entire movie. And she'd finally gotten to her last one.
Also, this is the shit about the movie that gets me. Like, does he not know does he not know what cigarettes are?
I don't. Yeah.
Like
again,
he doesn't seem to know what eating is.
It plays really fast and loose with what he knows to play up the gags of it all, right?
Like if the scientists were giving him shit that's like blocking his knowledge, or is he just like is he truly like a blank slate?
I want to say that it's just blocking his knowledge, and again, I'm going to lean.
Come back in time.
It's going to come back in time, and if we foreshadow a little bit when we get to the alternate ending, I think that the alternate ending like holds that up and like and proves my Steel Man incorrect in this instance. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
We will get there. So she says, look, these papers are full of references to a Dr. Gregor, but JCVD doesn't know who that is. Which no shit. If you don't know what food is, I don't think you know who Dr. Gregor is.
Right.
But Van Damme asks Veronica, like, if you really think you can help me, and she says, well, I'm going to give it a shot. And he stares at her for like a really long time, and she asks what. And I would say it's like a sexual tension thing, but I don't think that the Van Damme Universal Soldier has a sex drive.
Well, A, he doesn't know what a penis is.
He wouldn't know what to do with that.
He wouldn't know what to do with it. And B, she's wearing a wedding ring. She's still wearing the wedding ring.
She's married to her job. I don't know. But so he asks, why are you doing so much to try to help me? And she's like, well, look, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it because like this is one hell of a story.
Yeah.
So she says, don't worry, though. You're going to come off like a hero in the story. I mean, I'd also feel like she does owe him her life.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
But so she finds in the files somewhere some contact information for this Dr. Gregor. So she's going to go off in search of a phone. And she tells him, stay put, wait for the food, and she wanders off. So the waitress returns and plops down these two like heavy plates on the table. It seems like she slammed the shit down like aggressively.
I mean, I don't know. Have you been to some of these old like rural diners? The plates are, you could murder someone with them.
Yeah, I mean, they're unbreakable.
They're unbreakable. They weigh 12 pounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those plates are real. I have eaten food off of plates like that. Yeah.
So Van Damme is like watching how the other customers are eating, and he digs in. And his wordless performance is good.
Yeah.
Like he's good with the facial expressions and the body movements.
Right. And he
stuff.
mimes the old guy, and he eats the mashed potatoes.
And then his face is like, I kind of like that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So now back on the rig, though, Lundgren is threading all of his fresh new ears onto a new necklace. I feel like they blew out the budget on like the rubber ears.
This is prosthetic ears.
Movie. Yeah. So Woodward is asking, can I speak to you? He says, I'm all ears. With a big grin.
Just all of the damn buds.
Dude, put those juicy villain lines into my veins, man. I love that shit.
This just, honestly, I feel like I have hit peak ear pun at this point.
So Lundgren has a vastly different mental capacity than Van Damme has.
Clearly he does. It's almost like, so we talked about this before in passing, like when he's like glancing over at Woodward and Perry. I feel like he broke out of the spell a while ago, or at least started to break out of the spell a while ago. And so where JCVD is at this point, I feel like Dolph got to maybe 2 months ago.
Okay.
Right. And
I like that.
And so that's why he's far more, now that he's finally completely broken the spell, that's why he's far more advanced already.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
I like that.
Yeah.
So Woodward points out to him that his meter is reading that he's overheating. And Lundgren is like, uh-oh, nap time. He's chewing the scenery, man.
God,
he's saying all this stuff. It's like, dude, let the man eat.
Yeah.
This is the role he was like born to play.
Yeah, he does great. Again, does great in this movie. There's no denying it.
So Lundgren picks up this big, heavy machine gun and he walks into the cryo chamber. And Garth asks Woodward, why'd you warn him? And Woodward tells Garth, we can overdose him on the memory wiping serum. It's like, or you could have just let him overheat.
Right. I know. It doesn't say anything.
Would have been a good thing. But Woodward says, I'm going to go in and I'm going to trigger the injection. But Garth heroically says, no, it should be me because I'm the one who usually is in the room with them or whatever.
Well, we know that he's about to die.
Yeah, man. So Garth suits up. He goes in the chamber where Lundgren appears to be asleep in his little recliner thing. Garth reaches for the button that would inject Lundgren with the serum, but Lundgren suddenly grabs Garth's wrist, which was, of course, is what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Lundgren opens his eyes and asks, is there a problem? And Garth explains, no, I was just checking on the injection device because it seemed like it was malfunctioning. Lundgren jumps up to his feet and grabs Garth and slams him down in the chair and is like, well, let's test the injection device on Garth. And he rips his mask off. Woodward screams, you have to stop. You're going to kill him. It's like, I feel like Woodward, or you could do something.
literally anything.
There are guns all over the place.
All over the place.
In here. But Lundgren pushes the buttons that operate the injection, and he like shoves Garth's head down on the device so hard that the needle is like coming out of his face.
I didn't think the needle was even that long.
No, it's fucking crazy. Like first, it could never happen because a needle would go through someone's head without like breaking or bending or whatever. No, but it's fucking nasty though.
Also, like, would that have killed him? Like, what are the odds that it would have struck his? Like,
well, I don't think it was just the one long needle. I think it was like the whole device is in his brain.
Okay. That's still got to be an excruciatingly painful way to go, though.
I feel like you could feel like he wouldn't be dead immediately.
Oh, no. He would have felt that. Yeah.
It's fucked up. But so back at the diner, Veronica calls the number for Dr. Gregor that they have. And gets this weird, like, sort of modem / fax noise or whatever.
Again, another anachronism in this movie.
People don't know what that noise is. Yeah. But back inside Van Damme, he's like appears to have drank like a dozen Pepsis and is eating several plates of food.
I don't want to know what that man's next bowel movement's going to be.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's like plates of like meatloaf.
Yeah.
I think mashed potatoes, carrots,
all of it,
and a roll or whatever.
Mac and cheese.
He's going to be shitting bricks, man.
Oh my God.
She brought him like a plate of hot dogs, I think, as well.
I mean, if he doesn't even know what a dick is, I can't even imagine what his first shit is going to be.
Yes.
He is going to be so confused.
So all the other customers that are in there are like gawking at him, and the waitress is bringing out yet more food. She asks, are you going to be able to pay for all this? And Van Damme seems like confused by the concept of money. So the waitress hollers back to the kitchen that we got a deadbeat out here, and this massive cook emerges from the kitchen, which is fucking Alan Graff.
Okay.
He's like a legendary stuntman.
Oh.
He was in like Roadhouse and Total Recall, RoboCop, Over the Top, like on and on. I would say aside from Arnold, this dude's probably been in more movies that we've done on the podcast than any other human being. And he's like, I've been slaving all day making this slop. And Van Damme is like, the food is good. He's like, fucking A, it is.
I was like,
this is great.
What's your, I don't understand what your opinion is.
Alan Graff was also, he was on Deadwood. He was like Hearst's muscle, the big guy who fights Dan Doherty.
And the one who gets his like eye popped out. Yeah, shit, that was crazy.
So Alan Graff, the cook, stands Van Damme up and is like, how are you going to pay for this? And Van Damme shrugs. And then the cook says, I'm going to fucking bust your head open. And Van Damme's like, I don't want to hurt you. And everyone in the restaurant starts laughing, which is kind of weird because it's like they're laughing as if they've seen this cook beat up hundreds of people over the years. He's kind of crazy. But the cook takes a swing at Van Damme, who like ducks the punch, and he beats up the cook with ease. So then a bunch of other regulars, like at the pool table, decide that we should get involved. And it's like, really, guys? I just am like, they're like, no one touches our cook. Or maybe they're like all his like cousins or something.
Or maybe they're just looking for a fucking fight.
They like to fight. There's nothing else to do in this town. I don't know, right?
Just looking to fight. Yeah.
Van Damme beats him up in like a classic barroom brawl fashion. While he's continuing to eat the food, though, while he's beating him up, which I did like that moment.
Dude, there was one of those thugs who had the biggest... I mean, it wasn't a fro. It was just the most blown out head of hair.
I know the guy you mean.
Yeah, it was just massive.
That dude looked crazy familiar, too. I feel like he's another well-known stuntman, but I couldn't find him. I was searching for him on IMDb. But finally, we're getting like some Van Damme doing Van Damme shit.
Yeah, the high kicks.
The high kicks, the spinning kicks and shit like that.
Yeah.
Now, outside, Veronica's speaking to an operator. Another anachronism, like calling the operator, but she's trying to figure out how to reach this Dr. Gregor. But back inside, Van Damme is like slams a dude's head through the jukebox, and like some rockabilly music starts playing. Van Damme continues to like kick ass and eat food. It was like a pretty decent barroom brawl.
Yeah.
All things being like, I feel like that's a hackneyed thing in action movies, but it's hackneyed for a reason.
Because it's cool, man.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, barroom brawls are fun.
I mean, come on. So, meanwhile, though, Veronica has learned that this Dr. Gregor works at a veterans hospital in Clinton, Utah.
Yeah.
So she hangs up the phone right as this guy comes flying through the diner's front window. She looks in through the broken glass. she spots Van Damme, who sort of smiles at her sheepishly and's like munching on a bowl of popcorn or whatever inside. Actually, the popcorn thing, that'd be a good gif. That probably does exist.
That like him eating the popcorn
and smiling.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just like, I can't stop thinking there's no way his body can process this food.
I don't want to even, like, it's going
to be a hot mess
It's
later.
going to be a hot mess.
Dudes have probably,
so many different
like
ways.
I said, they probably have been being fed by like IVs, I would assume, or at best like that baby food shit they fed RoboCop or whatever.
The gruel,
Yeah, but that I think is where we'll leave it on on Van Damme's like disgusting bowel movement for this week. You guys can marinate on that for another week.
That'd be a tasty one. leave a note on our social media DMs on what you think his bowel movement's gonna be.
It's gonna be a literal shit show.
Oh God, the puns never stop.
Oh boy, but always. Everyone, thanks for listening. If you're checking us out on the Last of the Action Heroes podcast network, check out the 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger feed. Because we drop a little earlier over there. There's also like some awesome back catalog content that's never made its way onto the podcast network.
That's right.
That you can check out as well. And check us out on social media.
Yes.
Eric, give us a little...
Hashtag 6DOS. That's our 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger. Every week I post a little bit of summary of what's going on in the episode, try to find some trivia.
It's like Facebook. Are we on Instagram?
We're on Instagram. Yeah,
Instagram?
I post to both Facebook and Instagram.
It's at 6DOS Podcast on the socials.
That's right.
Tell your friends also to check it out.
Always.
If you have friends, we hope you do.
Yes.
If not, we'll be your friends.
We'll be your friends. Yeah.
Friend us.
Follow us. We respond to DMs.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
DMs are open.
We have an OnlyFans as well, so get on it.
A lot of Eric's foot content.
So much foot content.
But no, by all means, please, if you have movies you want us to cover.
Reach out to us.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel at points here.
Yeah, I know. We do look at the feed too. So get in contact.
But by all means, first and foremost, though, thanks for listening.
Absolutely.
We'll be back 1 week from today with more Universal Soldier content for your asses.
Penultimate episode.
Penultimate episode is on deck.
That's right.
You're gonna love it. So until then,
we'll be back.